Right, here we are, another one for the service, another one for the workshop, looking a bit cruddy, probably a new chain, new inner ring, brakes are squealing, tyres are odd, got a matching tyre to go on the front to match the rapid rob on the back. The whole thing just needs to clean down. Really nice bike, titanium Voodoo D-jab, magical. It's a magical sprint. We're going to put the stem in the positive position, new gear cables, and yeah, overall the entire bike, make it look magical. Yeah, well, there's nothing else to do but get this in the old shedderoo and strip it down and make a start on it. So let's do that. That's my new nice little Bisman tool as well for the Holotech cranks. Oh, that's super tight. Well, that's been over tightened. Right, let's move on to a few other bits. Come back to that. Super tight. Let's drop off the front wheel. Now it's clear that this bike is a really fine looking Thai bride in a silk dress, but underneath she's a massive whore. So do with that what you wish. However, so looking at the parts, I've been cleaning. So I thought this was going to be just a nice little clean up. You know, it's not been that, and it won't be that, because, well, the bike itself is a brother of a close friend. So I want to make his bike look mint. I want to make his bike work amazing, and I want to give it that little extra little bit of, I don't know, bike shed boy sprinkle tinkle. I just realised that everything I just said in the last couple of sentences is a bit weird. Well, take that as it is what it is. So I think we're going to have to go back to frame on this one. Well, at least minimal frame. We're going to take apart bits. You know, it's like, it's a lovely Voodoo, full XTR group set, but look at it. It's crusty, it's nasty. The brakes, hang on, let me just grab one. The brakes, you know. So what we'll do is we will clean all those. I'll give you a few tips, maybe. No, I will. But looking at the pads as well, take out the little metal bit. Little metal bit gone. Alright. See, got tons of life in. See, the pads look like they've not hardly been used, but washing up liquid. Believe it or not, washing up liquid, we're going to make them run amazing. On that note, we're going to have to go further in depth with this one. We're going to have to do it. So I just dropped out the forks, and look how crusty that is. Oh, well, headset, it didn't feel too bad. Felt a bit, it had a little bit of play, a little bit notchy, a bit gritty. So we'll service the headset as well, clean all that up, give it a new lease of life. did drop out the bottom bracket as well. It's not too bad, don't look too bad at all. Yeah. I've attempted to clean the rings up once or twice already, but yeah, that's going to be another job. So I think what I'll do is I will give all of these a really good clean down with Fairy washing up liquid. And the reason I use that is obviously Fairy washing up liquid is like salt based. So we'll give all that a really good scrub with a brush, really get in there. And then after, I'll give them a really good alcohol clean as well, just to kind of remove any kind of crap after they've been spruced up. And then same with the brake pads. So I've literally just cleaned up, now looking down there as well. So what I had to do is I had to get that, the pistons were so crudded up, I had to clean them before I pressed the pistons back into the caliper. So on both sides now, they're like looking fresh. One of them was sticking a bit as well. So that is now moving. I'm going to have to do the same to the front as well. And then what I'll do is I'll give this, I've given it a slight little wipe down. But I think I'm going to go more in depth and just buff it up a little bit and clean it a bit more in terms of the actual frame as well. Especially around there, a few marks up there. So I'll get cleaning them bits and then we'll get the headset all done and then I go from there on this one. I've just given the pads and the disc a really good clean off with Fairy washing up liquid and really hot water. Some of you might go, washing up liquid, it's soap, it's bad for brakes, but washing up liquid's actually like got a lot of salts in it. And obviously it's designed for washing your pots and breaking down grease and so on. So giving it a really good scrub off without, because obviously both brakes were squealing like anything beforehand. So they're all clean. They're now drying behind me. Pads are looking fresh, like brand new now. So bike's all stripped. So we're going to give it a clean. Now with titanium, obviously, I don't want to go too far. It's not got like a pebble dash finish or it's just smooth out like titanium, but we do want to clean it up and get some of these black nasty marks off. Now all I do with that is I give it a spray down with oil. So I'm using the Muck-Off MO94 and I'll literally just give it a good spray down so there's a nice light coating of oil, and then I will use a really soft I've got the bloody word for it, like a scouring pad, but it's dead soft. And then all I'm going to do is dead lightly just go around and just really lightly rubbing that oil in, and then any black marks like in and around the headset, that will literally just dead lightly. I don't want to put any scoring marks in the frame or anything like that. So just go around the entire frame, giving it a full nice wipe down with that. So I'll do that, then I'll wipe it off, and then I'll alcohol wipe it all down, get all the oil off it, and then I'll give it a silicone shine after that, and then really buff that silicone shine in, just so obviously with silicone shine it will repel the dirt and crap and stuff like that. And then cleaned up the forks. They came up looking fresh as anything, so that's good. Forks and mint. I've cleaned up all the headset bearings and so on, so once I've done this frame wipe down I can start rebuilding the front end and putting stuff back on this then and go from there. So I'll do the frame. Well, you can stick around and watch. I will speed it up though. not only does it look clean, it smells bloody awesome. Bubblegum. Let's start rebuilding the front end. Well, the Voodoo is not the oldest of bikes, relatively quite newish, but it's one of them. Still like to just bring bikes back to life. And every now and then I get a more of a kind of newer bike come through the workshop. So we just have to give it some love. And yeah, we can start piecing all this back together now, and giving just the headset a nice good grease up, and then we'll get all the front end back on. So it's not going too bad. It's not going too bad at all, to be fair. So yeah. Oh, lost the forks. Lost the oh, they're down there. So disaster averted. Found the forks. So yeah, so we're going to get rid of the alloy spacers. We're going to put some nice carbon ones on here as well, just so it looks a bit better, and it probably deserves them. So right, we've got a lot of spacers on this because it's quite a long stem, but my friend's brother is a tall lad, so he wants to keep that kind of up there. So there we go. Put the stem in the positive position as well for him. And I always like to put as well a spacer on top of the stem, just so you've got that kind of full stem engagement. Because as someone once told me, full stem engagement in testing has more durability. Kind of agree with that. But I've lost my 5mm. Right, well, let's get the handlebars on. Oh, stemmy, stemmy, stemmy. Oh, stemmy, oh, stemmy, stemmy, stemmy. Oh, beautiful. So it just keeps getting, not worse, but I'm just giving that one a quick wipe because I want to show you before and after. So that one looked like that one. And that's why I always generally rub like copper slip or grease just down that shaft, just to stop that from happening. So I'll clean this one up a bit more, and I'll clean that one up, and we'll have a look at them once I've done. Well, there we go. That's the after. So not going to go too deep. I just wanted to get all that rust off. So now when I put those back on, they'll all be copper slipped. And it's weird because someone asked me in the comments on a couple of videos back, like, why do I do that, and why do I do it on the internals of a fork steerer when it's steel? And it is literally just to stop the rusting. That's the only significance from it, because if you've got a commuter bike road and you've not greased those, and they could ultimately just seize in to the actual hub, and then it's a pain in the bum to get it out. So they're now good. The springs are all good. I'll give them a little bit of a clean, but they're good for the actual wheels now. And I also have just given all these a really good clean down as well. So the new tyres on the front, and I've just cleaned up all the hubs and made sure that there's no play in them as well. So the wheels are pretty much now all clean, ready. Skewers are ready. Got to do the cassette still. Obviously we've got the handlebars and stem and that lot on. I've just put a lizard skin on the drive side chainstay as well, and a few little zip ties. So next job is getting that cassette clean and then getting it back on the wheel, and then I can get the wheels on, because there is a bit of an alignment issue with obviously the kind of sliding dropouts there, so the wheel's not, it's kind of sitting a bit off. So I need to get the wheel in and get it all aligned properly on there, and then once wheels are back in, I can start basically piecing all this back together. So we'll just put the wheel in. You can see there it's relatively nice and equal. Looks like it's just a bit off this side going that way, but as you look down there, you can see from side to side that's off. So to rectify that on this, we've got to undo both of those and then basically make the adjustments on both sides. So I've already loosened them off, and so you can see that one has slide. So the idea is, you've obviously used these before, so I can make that fine adjustment on that. So that, tighten that up a little bit, that will straighten that wheel. So now you've just got to play with this and get it as straight, as perfect as possible on the top and the bottom. And then once you've got that, then you can torque up back them. So I'll tinker with these and get that back wheel in nice and straight. Then we can start getting the other bits on. So with the gears, we need to get some new gear cables in there. So with these, they're absolute nightmare. So you've got your two little screws. So you want to remove just the two screws just out the front there. And then what you do is you push that aside like that. And that should give you access to the cable. And then get your new cable. New cable, basically put that back through the exact same way you took it out, and then when your new cable's in, you just have to get that, slide that back over and put your screws in. Now the screws are absolutely awful to get out. Relatively easy though to change the cable on these. Here we are. Right, so we've got cables in, paddle shifters. So that can go back on the bike now, and then we can get the front brake back on. So we'll just put the wheel in. You can see there it's relatively nice and equal. Looks like it's just a bit off this side going that way, but as you look down there, you can see from side to side that's off. So to rectify that on this, we've got to undo both of those and then basically make the adjustments on both sides. So I've already loosened them off, and so you can see that one has slide. So the idea is, you've obviously used these before, so I can make that fine adjustment on that. So that, tighten that up a little bit, that will straighten that wheel. So now you've just got to play with this and get it as straight, as perfect as possible on the top and the bottom. And then once you've got that, then you can torque up back them. So I'll tinker with these and get that back wheel in nice and straight. Then we can start getting the other bits on. It's not looking too bad now though. The new chain's on. Got your little rubber boot there as well. Little red nipple. Boing. Got the middle chain ring on the crank. Got that all polished up as well. All in all, back wheels all aligned. Brake pads and all of that's now set back up as well. So that's all been cleaned. That's all been cleaned. Cleaned all on the saddle because there was like a bloody... I was just all crud underneath there of mud. Some donuts on the top tube, and then I got all the handlebars back on. I was going to put the stem in the positive position, but when I did and then I put the bars on, I realised that the hose was too short, so it's basically just had to stay there like that. Also burped and topped up the brakes as well because they was too spongy and pulling back to the bar. These like paddle shifters are just a bit crap, so but they're now running nice and the gears are running nice. Been out on a quick spin up and down the road a few times. So all in all, this was an absolute pain in the rear end, and it needs, for me, if it was me, I would have given it a bit more love. I think because there was a slight bit of wear to the actual drive already, was trying to keep the cost down. Obviously we managed to sort out the middle ring, but the top ring and the granny ring are a little bit worn, and obviously the cassette, which is an XTR cassette as well, had a little bit of wear, but I went out on a test ride and it's not slipping, so it's not too bad. It's not too bad. It's not too bad. Bit of a pain in the bum service, but want a full build. It was just a general clean down and service up, so I think we got the best out of this bike that we could get. So there we go. On to the next one.